Namaskar. Welcome to another 9 p.m. live. Aja, you see, last live I had told you that I would try and get one more person who had spoken about, with all this confusion about some person saying that 300 plus milega, Modi may get 303 plus and maybe more, and some people saying no, they won't get 250. All this confusion, and a lot of them came into your channel and in this program and spoke about. There was one person 2 months back who had said that, Congress will do well. We are trying our best and we'll do well. And a lot of y'all wrote to me saying that it is a Congress Congress leaders wish. Hoga nahi hoga malum nahi. Actually, this he had predicted 2 months back that Congress is going to do well, and I'm going to introduce you to that person. All know him, but all the same, thoda suspense bana raha hu main, so that I can introduce you to him well, and let's meet my guest for today. Gurdeep ji, take a bow. Take a bow. You deserve it. You stuck your neck out and you said that Congress will do well. How are you? Forget about everything else. How do you feel now? And tell me how excited you are and what's going inside your mind.
Well, thank you, Sujit, and thank you for reminding your viewers that I did say it on your show, because we were very confident. We knew what's on the ground, and today we are very happy. Happy not just because Congress did well, and we have almost reached 100 mark, but also because some things which were built up over last 1 decade now lie exposed. One, that Modi is invincible. Now nobody will ever say that he's invincible. Two, Modi is the one who sets the narratives. Now that's been proven wrong. In this election, we set the narrative, he reacted. Three, that if you do not follow Hindutva line, you have no future in Indian politics. That argument lies flat. And four, that there is something called democracy in this country. And democracy is not just limited to political parties, not just limited to political leaders. Democracy anywhere thrives because people want democracy. And this has been proved squarely in this election that people of India, they are democratic in nature and they want democracy to thrive. And with these messages, I think we have no other emotion than to be happy.
Gurdeep ji, tell me, how are you? This is historic. What a comeback in a way from where you guys were, and uniting everybody together, getting them together, fighting them together. And you know what? Your battle was very well fought. Everybody fought for each other. At that point, Arvind Kejriwal, when he was campaigning in Bhiwandi, he campaigned like a congressman. And for the first time, Thackeray went out and voted for a congresswoman, and campaigned for a congress. Oh, it was a historic moment, actually. How did this all happen? Tell us the story, Gurdeep ji. You were inside. I remember you standing in that press conference, and during the coordination in Mumbai. Tell us the story. Tell the country the story.
So, Jiji, all these parties, they were very clear that it is now or never moment for Indian democracy. If we do not come together, the democracy will not thrive, whatever people might say. And now, since the India alliance has got some 235 seats, so we may sometimes tend to forget. But this was an election which was fought with our hands tied. It was like Modi government has tied hands and legs of all the opposition leaders and threw them into the sea. As I tweeted once, that हाथ पैर बांध के समुद्र में फेंक दिया और बोला अब तैरो. And finally we swam. और अब जनता ने हाथ पैर खोल दिए हैं. People have untied our hands and legs now. So now we can actually swim towards the next victory. Because everybody in the opposition parties, they were facing not just the agencies, not just the false narrative, not just an unequal playing field. They all knew that this is a BJP which by hook or by crook wants to capture power. And unless we come together, unless we have a common narrative, unless we support each other, they'll say this is not going to happen. So it all came naturally, it came automatically. So much so that in states where we fought separately, like in Bengal, TMC was against Congress and left combined. But at no point did anybody say that TMC is not part of India alliance, or TMC itself never said that it is out of India alliance. Similarly, left, we fought them in Kerala. Aam Aadmi Party, we fought them in Punjab. But on a national level, we were all together in our approach. Because one thing was clear, that this alliance is to stop BJP. Wherever we can stop BJP by coming together, we'll stop them. Wherever we can stop BJP by fighting against each other, we'll do that. Because the prime goal was to defeat BJP.
I want to ask you an internal story. What exactly happened with Nitish Kumar? Why did he quit y'all?
This is something very, very surprising. Because in that first meeting, which happened at the residence of Congress President, I was present there. And Mr. Nitish Kumar was insistent. He was so persuasive that we have to stop Narendra Modi. The words that he used for Mr. Modi, I can't spell out because I have my personal ethics. But he was completely against Mr. Modi, saying that we have to vote him out and I'll make any sacrifice. And after that, after 3 meetings that took place, in the Zoom meeting, which was held in February, it was a Zoom meeting, and he was indicated, all the parties present there had said that the convener of the India Alliance will be Mr. Nitish Kumar. And it is after that conclusion he walked out. And we had information. This happened on, he joined BJP on 28th of January. And we had information on 26th of December that he had already got into a arrangement with Mr. Modi. And I'm saying it on record now that 26th of December, we knew that Mr. Modi had spoken to him. They had an hour-long conversation. And that was the day he decided that he'll shift towards BJP, because I think nothing but power motivates him.
But tell me, power तो भाई यहाँ भी मिलता था. What difference would it have made, Gurdeep? दोनों तरफ power था. यहाँ पर भी Congress, RJD, JDU would have been a very strong alliance in the state, and obviously things would have been different.
I think somewhere down the line, he lost the hope that India alliance can make it. That hope which kept the alliance alive in all other hearts and minds of all other party leaders. Somewhere, Nitish Kumar lost that hope, and he conveniently moved to the other side. It's something which came as a shock to all of us, that a person who was being made convener, a person who was the fulcrum of the alliance, the person who was first invited by Congress President, very first day he and Tejasvi were invited, from where this all started, he moves away. But then he is Nitish Kumar, and I think the country knows. And when the history of this country will be written, he'll find a special mention in that history.
Oh, yes, of course he will. Achha, tell me, two things I want to talk. I'll just dwell on that subject for 5 more minutes and then we'll move on. Two things I want to talk to you about that particular subject is because I remember Nitish Kumar actually in that particular press conference, if you remember the one I'm talking to you about, the Hyatt one in Mumbai, he had spoken to me and he had said that, भैया देखो कुछ हमारे बारे में भी लिखो. आप लोग मीडिया सिर्फ मोदी जी के बारे में लिखते हैं, आप लोग he said that तुम हमारे बारे में भी लिखो. He had specifically mentioned this to me. And that same meeting, somebody very close to the party, who was part of your meetings inside, let her not take names. Obviously, I can't. But he mentioned that Nitish Kumar went up to Rahul Gandhi and folded hands and say, भैया आप शीट शेयरिंग का फाइनलाइज करो. You finalize seat sharing, बाकी सब होता रहेगा. Did that really happen?
Well, it is true that he asked for seat sharing. But as I told you on your channel that time also, I think you had put this question, why there's a delay in seat sharing.
Yes.
We were very clear. In a dictatorship, the seat sharing cannot be done a few months before the elections, because There was always a possibility that you declare a candidate and that candidate is acted upon by the agencies or is weaned away or is taken away. There was always this chance. And this happened even after the announcement of elections. Some of our own candidates, like the candidate in Ahmedabad, he joined BJP. We know what happened in Indore. We know what happened elsewhere. There were instances when in Vidisha the candidate was not Vidisha, there was the other place where the candidate just withdrew. So this danger was always there. And we were very clear that the candidates should be decided near the elections so that our strategy is not defeated by BJP. Because BJP was not fighting a democratic election. This is something which was very clear to us. So to make that an issue, and we shared this with other parties also, you look, we understand this. What happened to all other states? Was there any bickering on seat sharing finally? The process may have been arduous, but finally in every single state, the seat sharing was finally mutually amicable and smooth. So that was just a bahana to move out. That was just an excuse to move out. Mr. Nitish Kumar, he was the chief minister. He was selected as the convener. And the convener moves away, whatever may be the reason. I think the people will judge him in a different light in the years to come.
Correct. And unfortunately, neither has he got any great position. In fact, his number 2 is been given, I think, heavy industry or something. He has not got a good position. Neither has he got anything in Bihar. Anyway, so let's get into the next topic. I want to understand, how did you all manage with the monies? Your accounts were frozen. How did you all manage the money? How did you do the campaign?
When these accounts were frozen, I think there was a lot of trepidation, lot of doubt in people's mind whether Congress will be able to contest or not. And we had told you that we have done alternative arrangements, and I cannot reveal it on the public platform, but now people understand. But let us not forget that this election, there was a huge resource crunch. We made up for that crunch by better management of this election. But I can put it on record that for first 3 phases, we did not have a single hoarding anywhere in the country because we had no money. Our first hoarding came up in 4th phase. Our outdoor campaign did not begin till 4th phase. It is we made up for that through our strategy that we made a better use of social media, we made a better use of television medium. So people actually have not noticed that. But the fact remains that none of our workers, observers, were even paid tickets to go to the constituencies they were allotted to. There was a huge resource crunch, but yes, we knew that people who want to defeat BJP government, people who do not want Modi to be the dictator that he had proved to be in second term, they were willing to support us. They were willing to support us, and that is why. And I can tell you, there were many days which were very tense days. But finally, it is people and supported by people who wanted democracy to survive. They supported Congress party. I cannot say beyond this on a public platform. But
Fair enough.
On that day also, when the accounts were frozen, we had told that we will be able to contest the elections. Yes, it was very difficult. Yes, there were many areas where we could have plugged. And if we had little more freedom to contest this election on a level playing field, the tally of BJP would not have been 240. Because 240 was an outcome of a blitzkrieg by BJP, supported by the entire mainstream media, that there's no challenge to Modi, that there's no alternative to Modi, that opposition is only doing a routine job for just registering a presence. It's a non-election. They have no chance to win. And the cadres of the political parties were demotivated in that in beginning. They were depressed because of this social media and media blitzkrieg by BJP, that it's a one-sided affair. And I had told you in that, and I distinctly remember that our only challenge was to motivate our cadres that there's an election on hands, and this election we can win. It took us some time to motivate our cadres, but once they were motivated, I think rest is history.
Correct. Rest is history. Gurdeep, tell me, we had seen a lot of people jump from Congress to BJP, Congress to Shiv Sena. At one point in time, we wondered whether Congress even had an ideology, or congressmen, not Congress. Congress had ideology, but congressmen, did they even have an ideology? Because it was so easy for them to jump. Now, after all this, after your resounding victory, or I mean, whatever your comeback, I would say, I would still not call it victory, but a comeback. Do you think the people have come together? Do you think congressmen have come together? Are you seeing the glimpse of that old Congress?
Sujit, one of the biggest takeaway of this election is that we have a Congress party which is ideologically aligned. Now, there's no confusion in the party. People who are in the party now know that this is the Congress party's ideology, which has been very clearly spelled out by Rahul Gandhi, which has been very clearly spelled out by our Congress president, Shri Kharge. And because ideologies are always asserted in difficult times, when you are in power, there's always a tendency that other things take preference. Congress party was power for 55 long years in this country. And when you are in power for that longer period, people join party for other reasons also. It is happening to BJP, it will happen to every single party in the world who's in power.
Correct.
But once we had a direct challenge from RSS, where RSS put forward its own ideology, where RSS wants a nation which is as per their own vision, then the Congress went back to drawing board, placed its ideology before people, before its cadre. And today, I think this is the biggest achievement, that Congress party is streamlined along its ideological lines. And that will now continue. Because what was missing was the ideological clarity, what we stand for. Because many people, as you said, they did not identify themselves with this line. But now that has happened. And be this confidence that we have a space in Indian politics. Our ideology is a counterpole to RSS ideology. That confidence has come back. That confidence was there during freedom struggle. During freedom struggle, Congress was propagating its own ideology, and RSS Hindu Mahasabha were very aggressive in their Hindutva ideology. But people chose Congress ideology because we were on the grassroots presenting a vision of new India, which was for everyone, where there were equal rights, where there were right to protest, where there was right to freedom of speech, where there was vote for everybody, where everyone had equal fundamental rights, where RSS never talked about these things. So naturally, people supported Congress ideology that time, and Congress ruled for 55 years. Now, once RSS became the dominant force, the counter response to that has also been sharpened. The counter response to that has also found a space and voice in Indian society. So I think the biggest takeaway is this only, that yes, there's an ideology which is opposite to RSS ideology. There's a vision of India which is opposite to RSS vision. There's a constitution of India which has come out of that ideology, and that constitution became the rallying point in this election. I remember in September, October, I was talking to some very uh, famous people who are into election analysis. And when we said that constitution will be an issue in this election, so they were just laughing it away. How can constitution be an election issue? But I think they do not realize that in this country, there's a great deal of inequality. Inequality, not just economic, but there's also geographical inequality, there's also caste inequality, there's also gender equality. At every level, the inequality is all pervasive. And the constitution is the only guarantee that someday this inequality will be wiped off. And those people believe in constitution. When they saw that there's a threat to constitution, this constitution became the election narrative. And today, with satisfaction, I can say that what we thought about Indian society ultimately proved out to be true.
I just want to let my viewers know that you had your accounts were frozen. There were media that refused to carry your ads. They said they will not carry Congress ads. You had a very limited budget, limited resources. Acha, over and above that, you had a strategist who went out in the middle of the election when the election was going on, when there was an ECI restriction on talking numbers, who went out and actually not just said that BJP is coming back with not just 303 but possibly more, also said that Rahul Gandhi should step aside and let somebody else now lead the party. Okay, they said that West Bengal number 2 and so on and so forth. Lot of things he said. And that was echoed in the exit poll. Gurdeep, how did all of this affect the Congress party? How did it affect the people on ground? And what? Why? How come you guys were so confident that nahi hoga ye?
Sujit, number one, we knew that the mainstream media was totally uncooperative. Our three leaders were campaigning every day. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi. Every day they were out doing rallies. If you see the coverage, our rallies were being covered in 2 columns, 3 columns in a single news. And in the same newspaper, there were 7, 8, 9, 10 news of Prime Minister Modi's election rallies. And I'm not talking of other leaders. And Congress का तो फिर भी 2-3 कॉलम में छप रहा था. Other India Alliance leaders were just invisible in mainstream media. Nobody was talking about their campaign. And on top of that, it is not just newspapers who decided not to, who said they'll not print our ads. Our initial 2-3 ads were dropped. That because newspapers said they won't print it. Even IPL platform, and I can share with you that for first 2 days of IPO, we had put out ads on IPL platform. And then IPL, the channel comes up and says that they will not run political ads because our ads were having impact. So the political ads are pulled out. That even that platform was taken away from us. So, but we all along knew that this is going to happen. We knew this is going to happen. And this election is not just a defeat for the fascist ideology, it is also the defeat for psephologists, exit polls, and this mainstream media. I don't use the word Godi media, but this mainstream media, it stands fully exposed before people of India. Do you think in future people will ever believe this media? No, they'll not. For a long time to come, maybe for next 10 years, 15 years, till our next generation becomes young, this will be remembered by everyone. How mainstream media tried to steal the mandate in a democracy. How the psephologists, the experts, as you say, they tried to steal the mandate and they tried to mislead people using their past credibility. I think they all have lost the credibility in this election. And after this election, why there's a Mr. Modi is again the Prime Minister. But why we are happy? Because now we know that people of India have concluded few things. And people of India have concluded A, Hindutva has peaked. There's politics beyond Hindutva politics. B, people have concluded that mainstream media misleads. C, people have concluded that the psephologists and experts are the front men or hatchet men for a particular party. And people have concluded that whatever marketing you may do, whatever the agencies you might use, whatever institutions you may control, still in India, there's a democratic space which can be asserted and through which this country can be brought on tracks. This confidence has come back. And this confidence will now count in days and years to come now. And that is why the democracy has won in this election. It is not that Congress has got 100 seats or India Alliance has got 235 seats. No. This confidence in democracy, the faith in democracy has revived. And that is there. So when you say how we reacted to it, we knew all this. When we designed our campaign, this was all factored in. When we designed our campaign, we decided that we'll try to have a counter narrative this time and we'll try to set up the narrative because Modi had run out of ideas. You see, in his entire campaign. And we did not react to his campaign. We stuck to our line. We stuck to our line, Mehengai, Berozgari, Arakshan, Samvidhan. These were the 4 issues on which this election was contested. And we knew if we stick to our line, they will have no response because after 10 years in power and after pushing their ideology, which is a non-democratic ideology, to put it mildly, they cannot fight us on these platforms. And this is what happened. Now, people, we were setting the agenda day after day, and Modi was responding. And for last 10 years, this had never happened. And second thing, we were also very clear that we'll also focus our campaigns on local issues also. It is not Modi who was contesting all 545 seats, 543 seats. It was candidates. Modi wanted to make it that he is the candidate in all the constituencies. But we tried to make it that no, there's a local candidate by whatever name, and his performance also matters. And that also worked in our favor.
Gurdeep, tell me, what exactly went wrong between Congress and Prashant Kishor? I mean, he was supposed to help you guys. He had come to meet Rahul Gandhi. Then what went wrong?
Well, I'll say in a single line, which I had used that time in my party. You said he wanted to help our party. No, he wanted to adopt our party. As if it's an orphan party, and he has come to adopt it, ki aap mujhe de do, and I will nurture this party. Anybody who fancies such thoughts exposes himself. And he stood exposed when in the meeting, when he was asked to make presentation, there were senior leaders who counter-questioned him, and he could not answer that. And Rahul Gandhi was also very clear. He had his own experience, his own thought, but he wanted the entire party to discuss it. And this election, thankfully, has ended that debate. That, and what personally I have been saying, Sujit, that elections are not only about consultants and strategy. The confidence has come back in the political leadership that the classical ways of running the politics are still valid. ये जो magic की हर जगह बेची जाती थी. Today I was just reading that why Jagan's party's people are blaming Prashant Kishor. I just read it on Twitter. I don't know whether it's true or not. But this is what they tried to, because after 2010, the technology changed. The social media came in. The mode of communication changed. Instead of an organized medium of communication through TV channels, it was a decentralized mode in everybody's hands. And it took some time for the conventional politicians to adjust to this new reality. And in that time period, all these consultants, they slipped themselves in and tried to show that, oh, this is something that they know and others don't know. In this election, this uh, rent-a model of campaigning has failed. So
Correct.
I think uh, I don't want to attack anybody on this count, but I think the collective wisdom of Congress leaders prevailed upon that proposal.
अब हक बनता है थोड़ा गुरदीप जी, अब हक बनता है थोड़ा बात करने का, बिकॉज
अब नहीं सुजीत. We won Karnataka, we won Telangana, we won Himachal. We saved our government in Himachal. We saved our government in Rajasthan. In last 2 years, if you say, it is not just one-off performance that we have done. In last 2 years, we have resisted. Let's not forget, in last 2 years, BJP interrogated our top leaders. Sonia ji and Rahul ji had to go to ED office. They sat there for hours and hours. One has to now admire their mental strength. That even after that entire attempt to humiliate and harass, they stood tall, firm on their ideology, never compromised. Congress leaders, so many of them were harassed by agencies. They stood firm. In Karnataka, in Telangana, we know what pressures our leaders went through. In Himachal, we know what happened. In Rajasthan, we know what happened. So it is not that suddenly we are confident of talking now today. When Bharat Jodo Yatra happened, every day, lakhs of people were coming out. And let us not forget, this was happening every day. When we normally organize a public meeting, even for our top leaders, for Congress President, for Rahul Gandhi, the preparation is 1 week, 10 days preparation we do. We do huge mobilization to fill that ground. Everybody does it. BJP also does it for Narendra Modi. Everybody does it. So you need a preparation of 8-10 days for a public meeting. Here there was a different crowd coming in morning, a different crowd coming in afternoon, a different crowd coming in evening, and it was happening every day in Bharat Jodo Yatra. So who were these people? These were people who were either Congress workers or people who believed in Congress party, common people. So that was the strength that we discovered during that yatra. I can tell you, when the yatra was being planned, there were voices among the seniors. What should be a target for everyday mobilization? Somebody said 1,500, somebody said 5,000. And you see the crowds that spilled out on roads to support Rahul Gandhi. Unprecedented. So it is not that we are confident of saying what we are saying it now. We were confident on your show even before election because we knew that we had done some hard work in last 2 years. In last 2 years, there were so many agitations that Congress party did. It may be limited in their reach because the media never amplified them. But in last 2 years, week after week, month after month, we were giving calls for one agitation, second agitation. We were going to people. So all that was being done, but not registered by the media. So this 100 is riding on the back of all those efforts, all those successes in the states that we went to, and also where there was a clarity being developed
on
in
the
all those
subject.
months.
Correct. Lot of questions, guys. A lot of questions. If you, there are some hundreds of questions, but then if you ask me straight questions, then I can put it up to Gurdeep ji. I can put your questions up. भाई अगर आप स्टेटमेंट दोगे तो मैं क्या पूछूंगा? तो आप स्ट्रेट क्वेश्चंस दो, मैं उनसे पूछता हूँ. Okay, let me take one viewer's question. Srinivasalu asks you, Gurdeep, will CBI, ED, etc., IT, etc., continue?
Look, we do realize this, that there may be a possibility that Mr. Modi remains what he was. He doesn't change for better. He doesn't become a Democrat. We know this. And I think There may be an increased vendetta also. But now we have the confidence, we have the support of people of India that yes, if we fight, we'll be supported by people. A. And also people, now they've realized that this is the limitations of Modi brand of politics. So if he goes on that path, I think more and more people will come to this side. So this is a political, uh, I'll not use the word war, it's a political struggle. Now from here on, Congress party just has to do its basics. And what does basics mean? We have to work on our organization, whatever may be the pressure. We're not thinking about agencies. We're not thinking about what Mr. Modi will do to Congress party. We know people have supported us. People have expressed their confidence in us, trust in us. So, A, we should stick to our ideologically clear line. We should work on our organization. We should take up people's issues, agitate, and also win the state election. Build parties state by state. So that is our way forward. It's up to Mr. Modi, up to BJP government. Now they call it NDA government. Now they are not calling it BJP government anymore. It's up to the NDA government to do what they want to do. We will do what we are required to do.
Correct. Rekha Vyas asks you a question. She says, "How did you feel after Amethi? What was the feeling in Congress?"
I must tell you, and I spoke before results also. We were 100% sure of our victory in Amethi. And we really felt happy because Amethi was also, there was a feeling of catharsis also. That feeling was being expressed by people all over India. That sense of relief people felt. Yes, something went wrong, which is being corrected and emphatically corrected. And what was the icing on the cake? When we realized that our margin in Amethi is more than Mr. Modi's margin in Varanasi. That was the response by people of Amethi that Mr. Rahul Gandhi's nominee in Amethi, who's our beloved leader, who has spent 45 years in that area, who knows people in all the villages, in gullies and mohallas, people stood by him. So it is people who realized what went wrong last time. And our victory was emphatic. Our victory, and if the media failed to read the signs of such a huge victory, I think that media should also do introspection. How is it that this huge margin, the mainstream media never picked up and said that Mr. Kishore Lal Sharma is losing? It's a question mark on media also, na? Journalists went there. We were confident and we were very happy when this happened. I must admit that.
Correct. Okay, now I want to ask you a question. See, when the same resurrection of Congress, and this has been from Mrs. Indira Gandhi days, resurrection of Congress normally happens from South. To a certain extent, resurrection of Congress happened from South. Why not? Now, the question between Wayanad and Raebareli, what will be discarded? And if Wayanad is discarded, would that be fair?
Well, when you contest from two seats, one has to be surrendered.
Yes.
And this is solely and solely Mr. Rahul Gandhi's decision. I am not privy to that decision. But yes, South has voted differently whenever there's been threat to democracy or whenever Congress party has been in difficulty. I think there's a distinct pattern. But this time, the resurrection has also happened from UP. It's not just the South. And one thing is significant in this resurrection. After decades, the communities which had left Congress party have come back to Congress party. And they've come back on the issue of constitution. So this is something which is very significant. And this is something which will have huge implication in now years to come.
Gurdeep, let's come to Maharashtra, another state that you need to talk about because you guys did fabulously well in Maharashtra. 11 seats, more than Bharatiya Janata Party, single
13
largest
seats.
party, 13 seats.
13
Sorry.
seats.
No, no. I mean, I'm talking about Congress per se.
Congress party won 13 in Maharashtra.
13, yes, absolutely. 13 seats. So, which is the single largest party. And tell me, uh, uh, do you still think that Maharashtra needs more? Because there is no clear leadership in Maharashtra. Patole is not seen as a clear leader in Maharashtra. Do you think you will be focusing on Maharashtra? 48 seats to the Lok Sabha, mind you.
I think that's an unfair comment on the leadership of a party which won 13 out of 17 and one independent supported by a who came back to Congress won. So it is 14 seats. The party which wins 14 seats in such a scenario, when again I'll repeat, it was very difficult to contest. The credit will go to the local leadership also. It is unfair, and I think this whole question of who's the face, who will lead, has once again been answered by people of India. In Maharashtra also it is the same thing. In Maharashtra, it is not just a simple victory. Out of 17, we won 13. And effectively, we contested 16 because one seat was very weak. Nobody wanted that, so we put our candidate there in North Mumbai. So with that strike rate, I think we've proved a point that Congress is alive in Maharashtra. And let's not forget, Maharashtra is a land of cooperative movements. In Maharashtra's psyche, the democratic values are ingrained much more deeper than rest of India. And that confidence, that trust we had that Maharashtra will be a very good result. And there was also huge sympathy for Mr. Thackeray, Mr. Sharad Pawar. That also helped. It's not just only that it was Congress party's solo campaign. On the grassroots, the alliance almost perfectly worked in each other's favor. So I think in Maharashtra, the alliance will again do wonders in next 3 months when the state elections are slated, because there's a point to prove. In Maharashtra, the Modi government was in its worst dictatorial form. They tried to divide each and every party. It was only Congress party which did not split. Some leaders did go away, but the party did not split. Shiv Sena split, NCP split. They've taken away the mandate of people. They've looted the mandate of people. So there we have proved a point. And I don't think that we should be again raising these questions about the leadership, about the face. Because in the parliamentary democracy, it is seat by seat, it is constituency by constituency. It's the program of the party, it's the ideology of the party which wins you elections. The faces are only an add-on.
Correct. I completely agree to you. My question basically is going slightly beyond emotions. To that extent, you see, there was a Sanjay Nirupam in Maharashtra. Okay, a lot of people said, "Listen, this man is not doing his job. He is not proving to a good leader." A lot of people left you. Sanjay Nirupam was kept. Later on, we all know what he did. There was a Milind Devra in Maharashtra, who was imposed as a leader. Everybody said, a lot of people said that, listen, this man is not doing well. He was continued, and you know what happened. You see, the problem in Maharashtra, especially in Maharashtra, and I can say that with some amount of confidence because I come from that state, is that somewhere down the line, the leaders in Maharashtra, I think, has disconnect with at least a lot of them. I'm not talking about a Vilas Rao Deshmukh. See, Maharashtra has seen a Vilas Rao Deshmukh. Maharashtra has seen a Gurdas Kamath. Maharashtra has seen great leaders. So this Maharashtra today sees it in a way that there is a disconnect between the leadership and the ground, which is what I technically asked you. I asked the same question to even Prithviraj Chauhan a couple of weeks back, a week 10 days back in the same program. The point that I'm trying to make is there is there a review? Is there some kind of a focus on looking at leaders, taking accountability, taking some kind of a cognizance of what is happening on ground? That's the point I wanted to make in a larger
No,
perspective.
I would agree with you that in past there have been instances where Congress party did not pay heed to the feedback. But what was different this time was, Sujit, that this time election was fought differently. Every senior leader was given the responsibility of their district. They were made accountable for their district. And each one of them chipped in. All of them forgot about their intra-party rivalries, their likes and dislikes. Each one concentrated on their district and each one won their battle. And the war was won. I think this is a new way of approaching uh, the organizational issues. We were very confident in Maharashtra that if we go district by district, we'll have a good result. So some things, yes, the feedbacks do matter. Yes, we agree that on one count, RSS scores much better than the Congress party is the collection of feedback, analysis of feedback, and the response to feedback. That's a fact. But to say that in last 2 years things have not changed, I think is being a bit too harsh on us. In last 2 years, the party president has been completely uh, open to meeting anybody from grassroots. Every day, Mr. Kharge meets people for 6 to 7 hours. So there, all those people who earlier used to have some grievances or wanted to give feedback had no avenues or the avenues were choked. Now suddenly realize that they can just walk up to the president of the party, All India president, and say what they feel about this thing. So this is a new development. Rahul Gandhi, when he walked with people, it was not merely walking that was important. He was also meeting people who used to walk with him throughout. किसी का हाथ पकड़ के बुला लिया, किसी कुछ, and they were giving feedback. So this new culture of feedback, which was devised in last 2 years, it has not matured fully, but certainly it has been kick-started. So I don't think we are much worried about these things now. Yes, many people left, but I think all those who were to leave, most of them have left the party. Because ideology is something which is tested only in difficult times. So when people were leaving, I think this time, even the voter was not bothered. Voter was also saying, "Jisko jana hai jaye, we'll stay with the party." And that is why they just didn't stay with Congress party. They stayed back with Uddhav Thackeray also, they stayed back with NCP also in large numbers. Because the voters who believe in the ideologies of the parties, they stayed back. The leaders who believe in that ideology, they have stayed back. So that phase is over now. And that phase was also accelerated by this feeling of hopelessness that by being in Congress party, our careers are blocked because Congress will not win. Many people, but largely these were those people who had joined the party with a hope of getting something from the party. People who joined the party or people who are remain in the party with the spirit that we have to now re-nurture the party. Party is reborn in these elections. They have stayed back. So I think people leaving, all those things do not matter anymore. As far as feedback is concerned, I can assure you, these are some issues that Congress party has deliberated internally, and we have been working on that. And this process will continue for another few years before it comes to a perfection. Because some things will take time. Some organizational channels, some organizational systems will take some time to reach maturity. It's a process of next few years. And that is why I said, now the confidence is back. Now the ideological clarity is back. So the next step is now to work on the organization. And working on organization means getting people from various communities, doing social engineering, rewarding people who perform better, making them accountable, having good feedback mechanism, having a process where the feedbacks are acted upon, and then also reaching out to people, common people, having a day-to-day, door-to-door contact with them. These are the things which are now before us. And this is what we are going to do in next 4 to 5 years. Because we know our responsibility. We know that this constitution is the product of Congress ideology. And the highest responsibility lies on our shoulders. And this is what we are going to do.
Gurdeep, we've crossed 500 live comments, so I want to take a few of them. The first one is not actually a comment, it is a praise for you. Mr. Saj PV says, proud of you, Gurdeep, who stood together in difficult times, tough times, ED, EC, CBI, Godi Media, and the mighty power. Hats off to you. Let's keep it up and protect this nation. So that's one.
I must tell you, it was not just before elections, Sujit. Like I have this organization called Samrit Bharat Foundation, and we did 3 programs with Rahul ji on social justice. And as we did the programs, I got the income tax investigation notices, appeared before them. So it was not easy this time. Even during the elections, they were super active. So it was indeed, and I must thank the Congress leaders who withstood this pressure. And I must thank the Congress workers who stood with us during this time. Because without them, without our workers, without our supporters, it was very difficult to sustain this.
Okay, Dipali Shane wants to know from you, Gurdeep. She is a huge fan of Rahul Gandhi, and she says, how is it working with him? How is it working with him closely, and how is it dealing with him? Okay.
I've worked closely with him, Sujit, and I'm very fortunate. I have not seen Mahatma Gandhi, I have not seen Jayaprakash, I have not seen Lohia, I have not seen people like this. But Rahul Gandhi, a person who has been pillared year after year for 15 years, the entire might of propaganda was turned on him. For 15 years, he was ridiculed. For 15 years, his closest people betrayed him. For 15 years, people said, look, this is not the right way. He took it up on his chin. And yet he's not bitter. Yet he has never had this iota of doubt that my way is wrong. He had belief on Congress ideology. He knew that this is the way forward. He became the moral compass against the dictatorship. He became the moral compass of for the politics in this country, that I will not do wrong. I am facing people who have no faith in good values, who have no faith in human values, who have no faith in democracy. Yet I will not leave my path of good human values. Yet I will talk of love and not of hate. It was so easy for him, na? It was so easy for Rahul Gandhi also either to give up or to start speaking divisive language, create an enemy, and have a support base against that enemy. Modi ji does it. He creates an enemy and then incites passions against that enemy. Rahul Gandhi could also do it. It's not very difficult. He didn't do it despite this. And then at a personal level, being a good human being, when you talk to him, there's a person with whom you can confide. There's a person to whom you can give feedback without being worried that this feedback can be held against you. There's a person who speaks truth. वो सच्चा आदमी है राहुल गांधी, हिम्मती आदमी है. तो it's मतलब I must have done something right in my life to get an opportunity to know him and work with him. And I must say that भारत का ये जिसको कहते हैं सौभाग्य है, whenever the crisis falls, there are people who stand up, who develop, who lead, who become the light. And that's what Rahul Gandhi is. He is today leading it personally. It's not easy. Today people may not have realized when he was working in Bharat Jodo Yatra in Kashmir. In Kashmir, when he decided to walk, everybody from central government to state government to Congress leaders to his well-wishers advised him not to walk because it's a terror-prone area. You never know who will come. You never know who may come with a bomb. You never know what will happen. He said, no, I might lose my life, but I'll walk because I'm walking for a cause. And he walked. Similarly, he stayed in Golden Temple in Amritsar for 3 days. A person from Gandhi family having that moral courage and that जिसको कहते हैं mental strength, I'll go there, I'll do seva, I will not carry my security, I'll stay there for 3 days. How much courage can one person have? He has this courage. He has this courage, and this is what makes him Rahul Gandhi. I don't see any other politician in this country who has this courage to walk in the streets of on the roads of Kashmir or to stay for 3 days, do seva, where there's a history related to his own family. And that is why Congress party, the Sikhs voted for Congress party in Punjab, because they realized that there's something genuine about this man. There's something which is good about this man. And that is the hope that we all, and which gives us courage, frankly. It gives me courage. Otherwise, it is not easy. It's not easy to stand up to the bullies that we are fighting. They're political bullies. You can only fight when you have a leader in whom you see that there's a beacon of hope. There's a his courage that you can identify with, and then the values. Politics alag baat hai. The human values that he holds.
Well said, Gurdeep. Last question, but before last question, Jabbar Ali says your manifesto was fantastic. He says it was hats off to you. Manifesto was brilliant. So that's Jabbar Ali. My last question, Vishali wants to know.
I'll answer to that manifesto thing because that's a story. Yeah. You've been asking me stories.
Oh yes.
I was part of the manifesto committee.
Yes.
Mr. Chidambaram was the chairperson. Mr. T.S. Singh, they were the convener. There were other members. One of the things that was always weighing very heavily on our minds, that one word, one phrase wrong will ruin this election. Because BJP has the capacity to take any phrase out of context and turn it against you. So this was weighing very heavily on our minds. That when we drafted the manifesto, one part was that what is the good it will speak about. The other part was what is the error that we have to eliminate. And I must tell you, this manifesto was read line by line by Mr. Chidambaram to the entire committee for 4 days once the draft was finalized. 4 days. We went line by line, each line debated thoroughly. Then, line by line, Congress president went over it. Then in our working committee, in the full working committee, line by line, the entire working committee went through it for 4 hours. And after that, when the suggestions came in, Mr. Chidambaram, the Gandhis, Mrs. Gandhi, Rahul ji, Priyanka ji, Congress President Jairam Ramesh, myself, Amitabh Dubey, we all, Mr. Singh Dev, 4 times we went over the entire exercise line by line. Each and everything was eliminated which could be misused, misinterpreted by anybody. And that is why we had a manifesto where there was no error. And then we went out to people during the process, throughout the country, heard all the learnings during Bharat Jodo Yatra, all the feedback during Bharat Jodo Yatra, all the feedback when we went from district to district in many parts of the country was all collated. We had spoken to experts group over last 2 years. All that was brought into. And each thing was debated for hours and hours. It was a very responsible manifesto, Sujit. When we promised 8,500 rupees for Peri Naukri Pakki apprenticeship, I can share with you the discussion from where the money will come from went on for 2 weeks because Mr. Chidambaram has been finance minister. The Congress party had many people who say that you should not make reckless promises. So everything that we promised was budgeted. We did the homework from where the money will come. We did the homework, what will be the ripple effect on the economy. And only then those promises were made. So the promises were good. The manifesto was error-free. And then, thanks to Mr. Modi, there was a genuine interest in our manifesto. And when the last time I checked, it was 15th of, I think, May. By 15th of May, 88 lakh people had downloaded our manifesto. Earlier, it would not even be 8,800 in earlier elections. Right. So after long time, manifesto could not be misinterpreted and it became a narrative for the election. And we are very happy.
And it was a document that was very well read, that too, I should say. Well, so last question, Gurdeep, last question. Yeah. And I wanted to ask this question. It's a viewer question, but I still wanted to know this. Vaishali asks that, will Congress ever take back traitors? Now, Vaishali, there is nothing called as traitors in politics. That's not fair. But yeah, her question probably is, will you take back people who ditched you at a very crucial time?
Well, I cannot answer on behalf of Congress party, but as a Congress leader, as part of CWC, I can commit one thing. There are two sets of people who deserted us. One is who were misled and one who were accountable for Congress party's performance, for Congress party's work. People who left Congress party at the most critical time should not be taken back. And even if they are taken back, even if they want to come back, I think few years of hiatus should be made mandatory, because it cannot be that you can walk in, you can walk out anytime, because it is the cadre that matters. People who matter. People get demotivated. So I think if certain people who were held in high esteem by our cadre, if they left, walking back will not be easy. This much I can say.
Thank you so much, Gurdeep. Thank you so much for spending 1 hour with us, and we really are grateful. And as always, it's fun talking to you. So that too.
And I must now remind you, viewers, on your show, I told that time, state by state, I had mentioned from where BJP is getting the seats, how BJP can come to 400 or 303 even. And I think we were right in that, except maybe in Madhya Pradesh, our estimate was correct in almost all the states.
Absolutely. Absolutely correct. That's how I started my program, saying that, that was something that you said 2 months back, much before anybody said that in India, including big strategists. So thank you so much, Gurdeep. Thank you so much for your time. Bye.
Fun talking to you always. Yeah, thank you.